Texas Farm Bureau Insurance wants to give you a VIP Aggie basketball fan experience this year. Go to 12thman.com/maroon contest. That's where you register. One winner and a guest will receive game tickets, hotel accommodations, autographed memorabilia, and more. You can register today at 12thman.com/maroon contest. Texas Farm Bureau Insurance, a proud partner of Texas A&M Athletics. It is the Buzz Williams Show, and we are at Rudy's, 504 Harvey Road here in College Station. The Fighting Texas Aggies coming off a 1-1 week this past week as they took Wednesday's game against SMU and then on Saturday fell to Boise State. And we will talk about, as I mentioned, the week that was and then the week ahead for the Aggies, who do not play until Sunday against Oregon State. So we'll ask Coach about how he will plan out this week to prepare for the Beavers on Sunday. So glad that Coach Buzz Williams is with us on this Monday evening and episode number 5 of the Buzz Williams Show. Howdy, Coach.
How you doing?
I am doing well. Before we review, this is a long stretch. Normally you play on a Saturday. Last week we played Wednesday and Saturday. Little bit of a stretch. Can you set up what the week will be like for you and your team before playing Oregon State on Sunday?
We were off yesterday in regards to practice. As a staff, we met for 7 hours, and we learned a lot from Boise. And similar to what we did last year after Auburn, we compared our 5 wins and our 3 losses and tried to diagnose what it is that is causing us the most problems, and then what it is that we need to adjust, and then from those adjustments, how we need to practice. And so this morning we had what we call an offensive OTA, and the priority we wanted to help in the adjustments. And then this afternoon we had film and did a defensive OTA that we just finished. Tomorrow morning we're going to start early and we're going to have an offensive OTA. Tomorrow afternoon we're going to have another defensive OTA. In those 2 segments of offense and 2 segments of defense, taking what we've learned through the first 25% of the season on this is what we have to do better. And Wednesday we're going to have whatever officials are not working that are high school officials come in, and we're going to have a scrimmage. We're going to take Thursday off for our day off for the week. Friday will be 2 days before. Saturday will be 1 day before, and then we play on Sunday. The good thing is, like I just told the team, you never want to lose. But in regards to the schedule that we've played and the difficulties that we've had, I think that because of the genius of our assistants, we have diagnosed this is what's causing us the most harm, and this is what we have to solve. And that's hard to deal with in the first week of December, but it's better to deal with it now than us trying to figure it out late January of last year. And so I'm encouraged by our work today. We have a distinct plan for what we'll do tomorrow. And tomorrow during the day, we'll kind of figure out how we want to utilize the scrimmage as more than just playing 5-on-5, but kind of creating scenarios that we need reps of, that we have evidence that we've struggled with. Our players were very responsive throughout the day and everything. And like anything that we do as teachers, we want to give them data so they can see it and understand it. And then we want to show it to them where they can see themselves doing it, good or bad. And then I think that it helps them better understand the why we're making the adjustments. And that was very evident today. I think, H hasn't practiced in a long time. K hasn't practiced in a long time. That's allowed EP's growth to improve. Henry was very, very ill last week. He tried to play through what he was struggling with on Saturday. He was not there today, so it gives more reps, so it allows the learning curve to happen faster. And so encouraged despite the loss on Saturday.
What has the team done well? What do you want to work on?
In our 3 losses, we've got to the rim 50% of the time, which is tremendous. In those 3 losses, we've only finished at the rim 50% of the time. You have to finish markedly better than that. In our 3 losses, teams have made 12.3 threes per game. That was 53% of their shots in the 3 losses came from 3. And they're shooting in those 3 losses 46% from 3. That's 36 points at a very high clip. And then the other thing, and we've mentioned it before, I think you and I have, we foul way too much. And not in the losses only, teams have scored 26 points per game. Well, if they're getting 26 points from the free throw line and they're getting 36 points from 3, that doesn't count the defensive rebounding problems we're having. So we've made some adjustments in hopes to calm that down in a myriad of ways. Some are strategic, which is why I'm not saying, but those have been the problems. Our turnover rate has continued to go down offensively. Our turnover rate defensively has been good. If you're an aggressive team that wants to force turnovers, you probably are going to foul more than normal. We're just fouling too much, and we're giving away points at the free throw line that we don't have to have. In our wins, teams are shooting 31% from 3 and making 6 per game. In our wins, teams are shooting and making 16 free throws per game. Can't control an opponent's free throw percentage, but you can try to slow down your foul rate. And then you can make adjustments. Our defense is going to force you to shoot more threes than you average, but we have to make an adjustment on how to contest those shots better and not get in rotation as much. And so we've made some changes that in our defensive OTA, even just in the 60 to 80 minutes we were on the floor today, we're better. And I think our players understand the why. And so we'll be able to, the good thing, if there is a good thing about our schedule over the next 2 weeks is we don't play until Sunday.
Right.
So we get to practice on us. And then the good thing is the following week we only play 1. And if you look at our schedule thus far, not complaining about it, we did it on purpose. We haven't had this amount of time to practice. And so considering that we've learned what we've learned and diagnosed it as quick as we can, the timing of this is working out good because we've already played 8 and we're only going to play 2 over in essence, the next 14 days.
And the Aggies are 5-3, and will take that record into Oregon State or go up against Oregon State. That will be on Sunday at Reed Arena at 5 o'clock. More of the Buzz Williams Show when we continue. This is Aggie basketball from Learfield. Not everyone is a morning person yet, but with Costa Vita's new breakfast tacos, everyone will be. Try our bacon, egg, and cheese or specialties like the machaca beef and egg or sweet pork, egg, and cheese. Stop by our drive-thru any day from 7 to 10:30 a.m. Order online through the Costa Vita app or the website. Become a morning person at Costa Vita. We continue with the Buzz Williams Show. We are at Rudy's, 504 Harvey Road here in College Station, taking you to the top of the hour, talking Aggie basketball with the head coach of the Fighting Texas Aggies, Buzz Williams. A word that you used last week, and I love the word, two of them actually, growth and poise. And Buzz, I thought both came into being on Wednesday in the win against SMU, because when SMU made that run in the second half, they closed it to within 5. That's an experienced team that they have. You could see that poise for Texas A&M, and to me that was a nice step forward in that win last Wednesday at Reed Arena. Well,
if you were to back up to Saturday, the previous 2 weeks, we lost to Murray State, we lost to Colorado. The Saturday that we worked a full day before we played Loyola. From that Saturday through this Saturday, we've had a lot of growth. We won at DePaul. We beat SMU at home. There were a lot of good things. And even though we lost against Boise, it was a different type of loss in many respects than Murray State and Colorado. Now, having said that, there's a lot of numbers in those 3 losses that helped us identify the problem. the encouragement and the leadership that was going on throughout the game against Boise. We could never crack the glass in the second half. I think we got it to 5 or 6 several times. They made 7 threes in the first half. That's an adjustment in regards to, like I said, in the first segment. They made 4 threes in the second half, and 3 of those 4, we took ourselves out of the play, which is an adjustment, that led to a 1 more 3. So Boise is top 40 team statistically in the country, and they shot more threes, they made more threes, etc. But at DePaul versus SMU, there was growth and there was poise. And even though the result is not what we want, there is growth that came during the game against Boise, and there was poise shown in the game against Boise. And I think that even what has transpired since Saturday, there is growth. And yes, we all want better results, but I think if we stay hung up on the results and we don't diagnose what to learn and make it a part of the process, I think that's where, no matter what Twitter says or the fans say or any of that, hey, we have to stay locked in and be accountable for, we've learned this, we need to adjust accordingly, we need to practice those adjustments, and then at least that issue at that moment in time that we've learned, because of the adjustment and the practice to the adjustment, okay, that one's not going to cause us any more problems. And so we have to include those lessons into the process. And I think the Murray State, Colorado led to great growth. And I think there was poise shown. Yes, we didn't beat Boise, but you could see from how we changed practice and some of the things that we did, you could see some good things come from DePaul. You could see some good things come from SMU. And we've got to have the same thing come from Boise. And we do have to go on a result-oriented run. Right. But if we can take what we've learned and continue to practice just us on those things, then over the rest of this month, we hope that those lessons come to life in the SEC.
In a win, not everything is great, and not to turn it negative, but you find things in a win that you can improve on. And in a loss, as you just said, these are the things that we did well. Obviously, you want to fix that. If you come back and beat Boise by a point, that doesn't discount the fact that you fell behind by double digits so long, right? But fans always think, oh, win, you guys are fine.
Yeah, and I get that. Someday I'm going to be a fan, and I'm going to be like front row on TexAgs.com and all of that stuff. But until that moment in time, I've been called to do something different. And I think like I was telling Ford today in shooting with Buzz, I said, Ford, the one thing that I've learned from this is there hasn't been a game. You can say the first game because of the result, but going into the first game, you never know because you haven't played. But if you look at what's transpired in our 8 games, there hasn't been a time to take an XL. Right. And if you look at what's upcoming, Oregon State lost to Duke by 5. Oregon State lost last night to USC by 1. Oregon State beat Washington earlier last week in their first Pac-12 game. They also lost to Portland State. They also lost to so-and-so. Like, there's not a game to XL. The following week, Memphis numerically is better than any team we've played in a different environment than we have been through with this particular team. Wofford at 1 the day before we start Christmas break, lost at LSU by 3, lost at Vanderbilt by 3. Let's come back after Christmas and let's play 2 games before the SEC. Northwestern State beat TCU at TCU when they were top 10 in the country. They beat Illinois State. They scored 100 and something points last week at Stephen F. Austin. Okay, well, good. Now we'll take a break and we'll play Prairie View. Yeah, Prairie View beat Arizona State. Like, there hasn't been a chance. And so, like I was telling him, and I told the team this afternoon, what we have learned is we have to be accountable in the moment, not the result. In the moment, good result, bad result. Let's remove the result. But you don't have a chance to excel. And so we have to be able to speak the truth and we have to be able to receive the truth, and we have to study it enough that it's not opinions. And like the things that I broke down to them today statistically, free throws, three-pointers, our offensive rebound rate versus the opponent's offensive rebound rate. Like if you look at that, and I spent an hour showing it, teaching it, and printed out every chart you could imagine, making them use their phone, and the phone's not supposed to come in the film room. And I'm telling them, go to your locker, bring your phone, because I want you to type in these numbers so you see it. Right. So you go, oh, not good. And then, okay, Devin, let's show clips on the adjustments. Why are we making these adjustments? And now let's go practice it. And so I'm not being Pollyanna, but what I would say is through 8 games, through 1 month of the season, we have to be accountable now in real time. Whereas if you're not playing neutral site road games, hard home games, quad 2 home games, like you're like, well, we'll wait till January. No, we're learning it now. Now we have to hope that what we're learning translates to better results against better competition. I understand that, but I think if we can continue to hone in on us and practice us, maybe I'm foolish or immature, but I like where it could take us.
He's Buzz Williams, head coach of Texas A&M. This is the Buzz Williams Show. Return to Rudy's with us. This is Aggie basketball from Learfield. All Hands Craft Cocktails is a new bar-strength canned cocktail made with 6 times distilled vodka and 10% ABV to make sure you never have to sacrifice the quality of your drink. All Hands Craft Cocktails, founded by Aggies and a proud partner of Texas A&M Athletics. The Buzz Williams Show rolls on from Rudy's, 504 Harvey Road here in College Station. And chance to talk with Buzz. And, okay, this one was bothering me because I didn't ask you last week. I wanted to. Why do you call Julius Bug?
Yeah. Well, Julius has a unique story. And the first time I ever met his mother was this spring. And it was just me and her the first time I ever met her. And she has a beautiful spirit, incredible energy. So Lau, Rock, Dev, me are in the truck. They dropped me off, and I told them, hey, she only thinks I'm coming, so I want to go visit with her. You guys stay down here, and whenever I'm done, you know, I'll text you and y'all can say hello to her and introduce yourself. Well, I thought I would be there an hour. It was the first meeting. We had a plane scheduled to carry me to Arkansas from there. Well, I had been with her in this place for 3.5 hours. And it was like the best first meeting ever, and we became friends. And she goes, what are you doing the rest of the day? And I go, well, what time of day is it? She said, well, it's 1 o'clock. And I said, well, I was supposed to be in Arkansas at 12. She goes, in Arkansas? I said, yes, ma'am. The staff is down there in the truck waiting on me. We were supposed to be on a plane going to Little Rock, and I was supposed to meet somebody at 12. She goes, well, it's 1. And I go, well, obviously I'm not going to get there. And she goes, why is the staff downstairs? And I said, well, I told you that I was coming, but I thought it would be respectful if you got to meet the other people that'll coach your son. We really want your son to come. She goes, where are they? I go, I guess they're down there driving around the block. She goes, well, how long have they been down there? I said, well, they've been down there since I met you. She goes, well, I didn't know they were there. Well, the whole time that her nickname is Muffin. So she said, my friends call me Muffin, so you can call me Muffin. I thought that was a good start. So it's Miss Muffin for 3.5 hours. And the whole time, Julius is never referred to as Julius. He's referred to as Bug. So the whole time, my very first meeting, her son went in the portal the day before. We flew to East Lansing. He met us at the airport. We're on the plane back. I call Muffin. Hey, I just met Julius. Do you mind? Do you have time tomorrow morning? I'll meet you. So we fly to Dallas from East Lansing. So for 3.5 hours, I've met her son for 30 minutes, Julius. We recruited him at Virginia Tech, etc. Then I meet Muffin, who I have never known. His dad tragically passed during COVID. So the whole time it's Bug with 2 G's. So I didn't mean for Bug to become a public thing. Right. And I'm not trying to take away that's mom's name for her son. But like for 3.5 hours, my very first conversation about Julius, it's Muffin calls him Bug. So and he didn't know that. So when I started calling him Bug, well, he knew it only came from his mom. So he's not going to like necessarily be mad, but all of the kids refer to him as Jew, as in the first syllable of his name. So I facilitate back and forth between Jew and Bug and Julius, and I know that's your mom's name, but that's how I learned it, so that's where it came from.
When you say that you meet a mom or parents with beautiful spirit, is that the edge to bring them on your team to Texas A&M?
Well, I don't know if that's the right way for me to receive it. The one thing that I would say, and I've said this multiple times about our staff does an incredible job in their vetting and their research of, does this person's character translate to how we operate? Not their talent, the person, their character, their work ethic, their IQ, their spirit. Are they a great teammate, et cetera, et cetera? Our staff does a great job with that. And I think part of that is their talent. I think part of that is the togetherness we have had there's 80 years of experience combined on my staff, regardless of position, in my career. I just turned 50. I'm starting my 16th year as a head coach. That's more than anybody in the country, relative to experience of head coaching versus years of experience on the staff. But the one thing that I think in this new model that has always been important to me, and I think it's become even more important, like who the adults are around the child is vital to know, because this partnership, everybody has to be on the same page. And so, and I have told Julius this, and I told Muffin that day, hey, partly I want your son to come because of who you are, because I have a really good feel for how he's been raised, and that will translate to how we operate. And, you know, in a speed dating type situation that the portal is, like, yes, the vetting, yes, the research, talk to coaches, talk to this, talk to AAU coaches, talk to parents, but, like, I think it's important, and I for sure think it's important to my spirit. Like, I respect Julius's story. I love his mom. I love his sister. I love that he's back home. I love that he's a good student. I love that he competes in class. All of those things. Yes, I love him as a player, but all of those other things, I think the character and their game run parallel. I think the trajectory goes together. And that's not for me to judge someone's character. I'm not acting as if I have all the answers. I have more character flaws than anybody in the program, which is why we only need to add good people to the program to overcome my flaws.
Well, you said something a couple of weeks ago. You said, you don't know if it's the right way, but it's my way. But really, that's all that matters, Buzz.
Yeah, I just have peace with it. Mm-hmm. Like it's like what I tell Corey all the time. She's my best friend, and she knows everything about me, and I know that happens with many relationships. But I can't go to bed at night if there's something on my heart specific to her. And it's the same thing with my staff. It's the same thing with our players. Like Boots just texted me, Coach, those were good words today. Yeah, I feel liberated because of what I said today, because what I said was right. But it wasn't just my opinion, because as a teacher, I want to make sure there's data and evidence to back it up. And yeah, we lost, and we're 5-3, and I'm disappointed. But I can't stay in the disappointment, because we've only played 25% of the season. And so as a leader, how can I help? Well, I can only help if I'm telling you what I believe to be true. And we're very transparent within our program. We love you. We're going to love you for the right reasons. We do want to be successful, but we're going to be accountable to our work each day, regardless of title, regardless of where you're from or how old you are, or did you get here, how did you get here. We're not held hostage to anything. We're going to give everyone our best, and we want our best to be today. And tomorrow we want to try to do it a little bit better. And if in the end that doesn't work out, this sounds sadistic, I don't want to have regret. I don't want to have regret with my wife. I don't want to have regret with my children. I don't want to have regret with our players, with our staff. And so I have to stay pure internally, because if it builds up, then I'm not any good to anybody.
Rule number one, always tell the truth. Right?
I abide by it.
That's exactly right. On and off the court. He's Buzz Williams, and this is the Buzz Williams Show. And we'll continue. This is Aggie basketball from Learfield. Basketball and barbecue lovers know the perfect brisket needs the right wood, and Rudy's smokes all their meats using their delicious signature rubs in 100% oak-fired pits. Get your real Texas barbecue fix today at Rudy's or on the web at rudys.com. This is the Buzz Williams Show. We are at Rudy's, 504 Harvey Road here in College Station. And a reminder that you can take advantage of holiday hoops if you're looking for a fun way to spend time with the family and friends this holiday season. Then join Aggie basketball at Reed Arena for holiday hoops now through January 8th. Discounted tickets are available for as low as $5 with a $3 women's basketball youth ticket option. You can visit 12thman.com/b-ball tickets for more info and to buy tickets. And if you're looking for the perfect gift for the Aggie in your life, then the Aggie Gift Guide has something for Texas A&M fans of all ages. Visit the 12th Man mobile app or 12thman.com/gift guide to find everything you need this holiday season. No, I got it. We're going to take a break. Come on back in the Buzz Williams Show. This is Aggie basketball from Learfield. The Buzz Williams Show rolls on from Rudy's, 504 Harvey Road here in College Station. The Aggies in Oregon State on Sunday at Reed Arena. Certainly hope to see you at Reed. Arrive early, pick up your holiday ugly sweater beanie. Available to the first 2,000 fans in the fan zone. You can get discounted tickets. They're available as low as $5 for game info. And to buy tickets in advance, you can check out the 12th Man mobile app, or you can visit gameday.12thman.com. We continue with the head coach of the Fighting Texas Aggies. It is question time because we've got two Curtises. Walt has checked in from California, and Ian is here. He's on the front row at the table. Ian's question for you, Coach, is what do you look for in a graduate assistant?
Probably the same thing that I look for in any body that I hire. Our graduate assistants are unique. I think it's because of how I was raised in the business. Devin was a student manager for me during his senior year in college. Lau was a graduate assistant our last 2 years at Marquette. TJ was a graduate assistant in his last year, our last year at Virginia Tech. I think Josh was a manager in what was his last year at Virginia Tech and my first year at Virginia Tech. Luke was not. Beatty obviously played for us. I think, Ian, it's seven people that are currently on my staff started as a student with me, either as a player, as a manager, or as a GA. I want someone who has impeccable character. I want someone who has an insatiable desire for improvement. I want someone who has a very high IQ. I think the smarter you are, the faster you solve problems. I want somebody who wants to learn to coach in a GA. Every GA I have hired has went on to become a Division I coach, every single one in my whole career, except for one. The one that didn't want to become a coach is now a professor at Texas A&M. He didn't want to coach. He was a manager for us at Virginia Tech. But a GA has more access to my life than anybody in our program other than Landry. They know where my money clip is. They keep my car keys. They do everything. They know where my wallet is. They know how I do scouting notebooks. They know how I do my book notes. They know how I do my calendar. So, like, it has to be someone that I trust, and my wife probably needs to like you because you're going to be around her a lot, doing things that I don't really know how they get done. Like, Lyle was a GA. He taught TJ how to be a GA. TJ taught Forrest how to be a GA. And now TJ and Lyle are teaching Cal how to be a GA because it's just like turned into something that I don't really even know. And they have a book on how to be a GA for Buzz now on everything, what they pack for me on the road, what pillows I use when we travel. Like, it's not about me, but there's so many layers to all of that. So that's a long answer, but you get the gist.
No, it's fascinating, Buzz, because it has to be personal. There has to be trust. There has to be responsibility.
Like, the only food that I eat when I'm not when I travel is breakfast. So I'll eat an omelet, but if we play a night game, they bring me my healthy food that I eat when I'm here at the office. Like, I have 9 healthy meals throughout the week. The people that cook for my healthy meals are the people that cook for our team. So, like, when we go to Fort Worth, we travel on Friday. Okay, I need a meal Friday night. We're not playing until Saturday night at 6, so that means that chapel is at whatever time, 8 o'clock. That means I'm on the treadmill at 6:30 if it's not a day that I train. If it's a day that I train, you got to go with me to the gym where I am going to train with the strength coach, and then chapel, and then an omelet, and then shoot around, and then a nap, and now I need a meal, which means I need the meal in the refrigerator in my room, but I need my scouting notebooks that has my game charts, and I use 49 different colored pens that have to be in, and then I'm going to write on the board when we get there, and I need the baggie that has all of the dry erase markers. It's a lot.
When it comes to the coaching part, do you want them to be Buzz 2.0, or do you want them to be themselves?
No, I want them to be themselves. I think Kyle's going to be a star because he's tough and he's smart, but he knows when to speak and he knows when not to speak. And like I've told Lyle this, I told Kyle this. Here's how you do this. Beat me to the office. You can tell when I'm going to come to the office because of what time I train. So be in there. And never leave the office unless you're doing something for me. Don't leave until I leave. And you can pretty much look at my calendar. I have the radio show at 7. That means I'm going home, and that means I'll be home at 8:20. That means I'm going to be back in the office in the morning at 5:30. So Kyle's going to be there. Be there when I get there. Be there when I leave. And if I holler your name, be in the sound of my voice, unless you're doing something for me that I'm aware of. And if you'll just read everything that I ask you to print out, make a copy of everything you put in my scouting notebook. And if you were trying to write a book as if you were the ghostwriter, you have a copy of the monthly notes I take. You have a copy of my calendar. You have a copy of the scouting reports. You have a copy of when I watch a game, what I wrote down. You have literally all access. You know every book that I read every week. You have everything. And if you just do that for 720 days, do that, you'll be better prepared than you could be to coach. And you'll know if you want to coach.
That's an excellent point.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, because all these guys think they want to coach, and then they start seeing all of that, and they're like, oh, no, I don't think I want to do that.
But that's okay, too.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
You get a graduate degree for free,
right?
And you learn, I do want this or I don't want this.
He's Buzz Williams, head coach of Texas A&M, taking on Oregon State on Sunday at 4:30 with our Dos Equis tip-off show. Final break, final segment next. This is Aggie basketball from Learfield. Customize your Aggie basketball experience at Reed Arena with a 4-game flex pack. Get a 4-game men's basketball SEC pack anchored around the Auburn and or the Arkansas games, or pick any 4 women's basketball games of your choice. You can customize your flex pack today. 12man.com/bball tickets or call 888-99-AGGIE. Final segment of the Buzz Williams Show here from Rudy's. I want to continue from last segment about your coaches. You let your coaches coach. When they're coaching, you don't get in the way. That responsibility. Yeah. That goes a big way for what's next for them, doesn't it?
I think I probably allow the staff to do more than most. I think we do a good job in regards to their skill set, their talent. We assign them what we call buckets. And if it's their bucket, that means they're the head coach of it. And so that means I'm an assistant coach relative to their bucket. And I think because of the relationships and the character of the staff, when it's not their bucket, they're trying to help the person who is in charge of the bucket. And when it is their bucket, there's not interference. And I think that we're transparent with one another, just like we are with the team, on voicing ideas without feeling as though a particular bucket is being infringed on. Hey, what about this? What about this idea? I think we're all, as the adults, trying to pull in the same direction. And there's not, well, this is my bucket, you do this. There's not silos. There are silos in regards to those are your buckets, but everybody is trying to help that coach with their particular bucket. Yeah, I think it's a paradox in some ways, but I believe I give a lot of ownership away, but I think in giving that ownership away, it actually creates more ownership because they know that they are in charge, that they have the authority in that. And I think that authority, that bucket, that responsibility, it allows them to grow at a faster rate instead of, every third game, hey, it's your scout. And when it ain't your scout, go on the road recruiting. Like, our model is different: defense, offense, special teams, personnel, how we scout, how we study. It's more football-esque than basketball-esque. And there's more complexities to it in that, hey, Rock is the head coach in charge of this, and Beatty is his assistant in charge of that bucket. And so there's teams within the teams, like the job that Antonio and V are doing for us specific to the opponent, what Rock and Beatty do specific to the opponent. Like everybody kind of knows, yeah, that's your bucket. Now, what intel do you have specific to that bucket, and how does it help our team? I don't know if that's the right way to do it. It's kind of morphed and evolved into that over the last decade. I think some of it started because so many of those guys were once students, and I was just trying to give them responsibility, and they ended up keeping some of that responsibility as they got a job. And so that's why it became buckets. Hey, that's your bucket of water, carry your water. And then, hey, if you're going to help somebody else with their bucket, well, you've already carried that bucket. So let them carry it. You know how to carry it. And so I think from a leadership standpoint, I think your job as a leader is not only to produce more followers. I actually think your job is to produce more leaders. And so if you're trying to grow leaders, then the leader at times has to get out of the way to allow that growth, because you will fail those that you're charged to lead if they constantly feel as though there's a ceiling to their growth. And I think that's why first of all, it's their loyalty to the relationship. But if you look at the years of service, yeah, well, why aren't they leaving? Well, their growth continues. And so they feel comfortable with what they have to be accountable for. But as someone who's trying to learn and grow, they feel comfortable that there's still room for growth. And that means that it doesn't mean I do less. It just means I help hold them accountable to what their bucket is. And so I spend more time on, Monaco, you got your bucket. Ben, you got your bucket. Ian, you got your bucket. And we spend so much time on us. And I think that's one thing that's changed a lot basically since COVID, we've kind of figured out our way, and we're going to stay on our way about 88% of the time. The other 12%, we may throw in something about the opponent, but we're trying to improve us.
He's Buzz Williams. This has been the Buzz Williams Show. Aggies take on themselves on Sunday. Actually, Oregon State, but it is about us. 4:30, Dos Equis tip-off show 5. We'll see you on Sunday, and we'll see you again next Monday as well. Thank you, Buzz.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate it. Thank you all for being here at Rudy's 504 Harvey Road here in College Station. Jamie Harrelson is the producer of the Buzz Williams Show in our Learfield studios. Kevin Menchow is the engineer. For Buzz Williams, I'm Andrew Monaco. Once again, we'll join you on Sunday, 4:30, Dos Equis tip-off show, 5 o'clock from Reed Arena. It's the Aggies and Oregon States. Talk to you then. Thanks and gig 'em. This is Aggie Basketball from Learfield.